All right. Well, hello, everyone. I'm Kim Anderson. I live in Cold Spring, Minnesota. I'm a nurse by trade, but I'm a health coach, and I'm super excited to share with you today. Amanda and I've got my friend Amanda Plavel with me, and she's going to introduce herself, and then we're going to share some information with you guys.
Hi, Kim. Hi, everybody out there. I'm Amanda Plavel. I'm a doctorate in natural medicine, and I'm so excited to talk. We always have fun when we do this together. So we're going to talk about energy, which we've kind of tossed around a lot that we were going to talk about that coming up. But I'm really excited to talk about it with you because you, to me, are like the Energizer Bunny. Like, you always talk energy, you always have energy, and you always just look really energetic. Like, it's not forced. It just naturally comes from you. So I'm hoping you'll share your secrets with us. So how do you have so much energy? Are you going to share?
Oh my gosh. Well, as you know, having autoimmune disease and things like that, you have to really, hone in and focus on getting the right nutrition. That's a huge one. Just the body being nutritionally fed. And you helped me with a lot of those things as well. But I think for me, it's like the vitamins that I'm taking right now, currently going at the cellular level. So the body gets the nutrients. And, no matter how good we eat in the United States, we still don't get all the nutrients we need. Yes, we try to do all foods and things like that, but we're just not getting the exact nutrients the body needs. So with that, it really, really does help when you take a good quality nutritional supplement so that your body does get the energy it needs and, the focus that you really do need.
Yeah. So I'm just curious, do you remember a time in your life where you did not feel this energetic? Were you just always like this, or did you notice that there was a definite change?
Well, I think, so I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's about 23 years ago, super tired all the time, taking naps every day, 2+ hours a day. I would take naps. I mean, it was crazy, sleeping 11 hours a night. So I just always felt yucky, never felt good at all. So about 10 years ago is when I just was like feeling so, out of sorts and not good at all. And I really had to, hone in, and really the mindset too. And, we're going to talk a little bit about that today too, but, really, I've had energy, but gosh, just the last 10 years, it's been off the hook. It's been really,
I can see that. Yeah. Again, we talked Hashimoto's was having to do with your thyroid, but we were talking a little bit. I have a little secret that I work with too.
I love that. I love that. I know, because you were talking about that. Like, it's not just what we eat. You have a really good secret for us.
Exactly. Yeah. We're definitely going to talk about the nutrition piece a little bit more. We definitely have to go into that. And I'm curious to see, like, how do you eat? We've talked about that a lot. So I want to share some of that to our viewers too. But one of the big things, like when someone comes to me, like we did with you, we focused it a lot on your thyroid, but we have to look at I call it the gear system of the body. It's all of those glands that stack up on top of each other. And so we run panels that are totally non-invasive, easy to identify, and it tells us a lot about how your adrenals are acting. And so that adrenal is a big part of what we end up doing with that person then, because it lets us know, how peaked are those adrenals? Are they stressed? Are they fatigued? Are they just completely exhausted? And how are they working then with the other glands like your thyroid? And so I think it's wrong of us to just focus on just the thyroid, even if we know that's the problem. They impact each other. So we really have to look at how are the adrenals functioning? How are the stress hormones that are coming from the adrenals, how are they impacting your central nervous system, your parasympathetic, your sympathetic? Can they balance each other out? That ultimately is going to tell your body a lot about how it's going to metabolize and use nutrition that comes in. So we definitely have to have the nutrition piece. We have to have the supplement piece if that's what is necessary for that body. But we have to make sure that it can motivate through the body. We have to have those gear systems working correctly. So
yes, and that's where a lot of people do have that adrenal fatigue.
Exactly. I saw that you just posted something. Was it on Facebook? You had an infographic or something on adrenal fatigue, I think it was. Yeah. Well, that's cool. We should look that up too.
Blog, so that one is coming out, so that's exciting. So there've been like blogs that we've been doing, and
well, I have. So the name of my blog is The 7 Secrets to Feeling Energetic that energetic people know. And so it's kind of like, it's almost like if I were to talk to people like you, what would you all have said? And so a huge one, and you are just so good at this. Like in the blog, we talk about what I just mentioned, the adrenals, we talk about the nourishment, but we also talk about like just that feeling piece, the mindset and where your mind and emotions are. And you are just so good at that. You are always, like, I don't ever hear you talk negative. You have negative things that happen in your life, I'm sure, but you never like let it bring you down. And so I think you're just really good at mindset. So I would love for you to share a little bit about that.
Well, I think the biggest thing is, like, for me in the morning, I do a lot of journaling, a lot of Bible study. I have like a devotional. Like, I think it's really huge to get your mind in the right space in the morning. And when you do that right off the bat, like, you're just in that positive mind frame versus the negative. 'Cause we can go down that negative road. Like you said, like, I've had a lot of crazy things happen in the last year. And people have they just have no idea, because I really try to keep that separate of my mindset, because if you stay positive, and your life just is so much better too. Like, people
Right.
are attracted to that versus the negativity. I can't personally handle the
I
negative.
think yep. I think that's a good point, that attractive thing. It's, not that you just have to, be positive all the time. Sometimes it's hard to be through that, but it is really hard to be around somebody that's like that all the time. The interesting thing is, I study just cellular biochemistry, and there's just study after study after study of what your mindset, what your concepts, your thoughts, your beliefs have on the programming of your cells, and then your cells play that out. And so if you're kind of constantly in that low vibration state of negativity, it's really hard for your cells to do the job, because their vibrational state is so much lower. So I just think that's really interesting.
The other thing too, Amanda, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, like, a lot of people that are very sick, they tend to be a little more negative, right? And so that's another key factor to illness, is that, they're going down the wrong path of health.
Yes, I have an awesome mentor, and I just remember what he said all the time. He said, if you want health, you have to speak health, talk health, live health. So even if you're not in a healthy state at that time, you talk with the people that are going to help you, and then you move towards that state, and you get it in your mind that you're already there, because it doesn't help us at all. Like, we think we have to acknowledge all of it all the time. We've acknowledged it. We're working on it. Now let's see ourselves in that healthy state. So thank you for sharing about mindset. I have a little bit of that in the blog too. So it would be awesome to go check that out. Also, it's on drfoodie.live. Just type in 7 secrets and the newest blog will pop up. So
Awesome.
You were asking me something before we started. So
yes.
Go ahead, I'll share it with everybody.
Yeah, that would be great, because, we're talking about being healthy. How does it impact energy? You and I go back and forth with the nutrition piece, right? And that's been huge. Like, you I don't know, it was maybe 7 or 8 years ago, just really focused on, like, going gluten-free and, things like that. That's huge. It's been huge for me I remember you talking about rice, and it just would, sit in my gut. It was like a plug for me, right? Just, and,
yeah.
And when I stay away from it, I feel amazing.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. One little thing.
Yes. And it's not, rice may not do it for everybody, but it did in your case. And it's important to run panels like we do to check and see, one, how is your body metabolizing and using nutrients? But 2, what things is maybe your body putting up a protective field against? And that happens quite often. And people don't necessarily know that they're having an intolerant reaction to something. But yeah, that trick that we were alluding to is that what a lot of people don't realize is energetic people know how to utilize their nutrients. Their body is working efficiently. All of the systems are working together. And what people don't know is that just digesting alone, the act of putting food in your mouth and having it come through your body is work for the body. Like, we don't really understand how much work the body gets in gear to do. And so just the act of digestion causes inflammation. It's not like unhealthy inflammation where, that's an unhealthy process that lasts and lingers and it causes problems. But natural, normal digestion, we have inflammation at the time of being used, and then it decreases as that work is getting done. So that is another trick that I help people watch for. And when we're working on their panels or when we're giving them some lifestyle suggestions, is just making sure that the digestive system is not sludgy. If it's sludgy and the cells have formed kind of a little protective coating around themselves or some biofilm, you're not getting in the nutrients. And so you could be eating all of the right foods, but if you're not getting in the nutrients and your body's not breaking them down, your cells aren't metabolizing them, and you're not metabolizing the hormones that are coming from that gear system, you're going to be putting up an unhealthy inflammation response. So we want to help to utilize those nutrients better and remove that icky, sticky inflammatory film. So that is a super important part of feeling energy too. So people need to understand that it's not just feeling energy truly comes from within. You feel it or you don't. And if you don't, then you probably should have your systems looked at.
Right.
Let's start with food and nutrients first, you know?
Right.
So yeah, let's go to food on that, because I'm curious, we've talked so much about food before, but yeah, what do you do for eating healthy? Are you like a fanatic and then you take your supplements, or what do you do?
I do, yeah, a lot of supplements, a lot of spinach, a lot of greens. I do a lot of vegetables, tons and tons and tons of vegetables, a lot of magnesium, you know, getting my iron, my vitamin B, those sort of things. I take a product called Activate C. It's an immune booster right now with all the coronavirus and all those crazy things, just to boost the immune system, to keep my immune system high. And then it helps with the energy too, you know, just kind of keeps everything nice and high. You know, grass-fed beef, those sort of things. I'm not a huge meat person. I do a little bit, but you know, I'm more of a fish gal, fish, salmon, you know, some of those good tuna. I love, like, I'm a huge fish person. So yeah, just, you know, eating a lot of the healthy foods, really tons of veggies. I do a lot of vegetables. Organic, if I can get organic, organic.
Yeah.
I can't get them, you know, I mean, I get the best that we can, right?
Exactly. Yep. Got to work with what you've got.
I love, like, beet juice. I do some juicing, beet juice, spinach, you know, carrot, kind of juicing a bunch.
Were you always like that? Did you always just eat healthy, or is this a process?
No, this was a huge process for me. My mom had cancer when she was 40. And so she ended up doing beet juice and carrot juice for years, because they had given her only a year to live. So she ended up doing a lot of beet juice and carrot juice and things. And so I was like, okay, you know, 10 years ago, I'm like, I got to get back to eating healthy. You know, none of that McDonald's drive-through and those sort of things. Just focus on eating healthy and really heal my body.
It's too bad, because it seems like that's kind of how it goes. You know, people need something that sparks, and it's usually a scary something that sparks the change. And you know, I mean, I have a huge mission to teach people the function of foods and how to really work with the body with that. And I wish it didn't have to getting to that point where we were kind of scared into learning the truth about food, but that's how it goes.
It's so much cheaper. Honestly, like, when you think about this, it's cheaper to prevent illness, having, you know what I mean? Like, just prevent it. Everybody could just prevent it and not get to the point where I was. Like, how do we teach that, right? I mean, just to not get to that point of illness.
Well, and here's the thing, like, our just conventional living just brings unhealthy eating about. Like, if you think of what has been allowed to be normal in our lives is really abnormal for what our body is meant to do. I really want you to, you too, like all you readers, listeners, go and look at the blog, but Kim, go and look at it. So again, it's drfoodie.live, 7 secrets to feeling energetic that energetic people know. I talk a little bit more about, like, the energy of food and how food is our fuel. Like, I say this so often, like, if a race car driver pulled up to the gas tank, he's not going to put the junk garbage gas, because he understands what his car needs. He understands the fueling of his vehicle, and he has the respect for that. And I think it's really sad that a race car driver has more respect for his vehicle, his car, than we understand about our own bodies, and like that we just would not respect and care for what kind of fuel our body needs. Is it because they don't know? Is it because they just really don't understand? But our bodies were never meant for the kinds of food that are out there right now. You know, I have a big pantry, but honestly, the big pantry is not for cans and boxes, because I obviously teach to go against processed food, but I have the big pantry so that it can store, like, my juicer and my dehydrator and my food processor, and then all of my canned stuff from, like, my garden and my herbs and stuff. So my pantry looks a little bit different, but I think that's kind of our clue. Like, if you have a full pantry and it's full of boxes, bags, and cans, you might want to take a look at that a little bit.
Right. Well, and I always the analogy too of like, you know, when people are, your oil change light comes on, right? And
Yeah.
it's change oil. We all like, oh my gosh, we got to get the oil change in our car, right? But
Right.
we don't take care of our bodies. We take care of our vehicles. Like,
Right. And that's what the symptoms are. The symptoms are those dashboard lights. And maybe people don't know what some of those symptoms are. So like obviously low energy is one of them, and that's what we're talking about today. But it can even be things like feelings of shakiness or dizziness. That's going to tell you your body's not metabolizing well. Or chaotic heartbeat, or feelings of anxiety. Anxiety is such a big one now, and it's so often related to our food and metabolism. Maybe you have bowel upset or stomach pain or your skin condition or your hair condition. These are all not normal to a functioning body. These are, like you said, our dashboard lights. This is the oil change light coming on saying, hey, I need something.
like
So we need to pay attention to that.
wake up, right? Because
Yeah,
you
exactly.
do not want illness like I had. You do not.
Right.
It's a terrible road back.
Exactly. I totally agree. So obviously food has a big part of it, nourishing our body for use. And mindset, like you were talking about. And yeah, one more thing that I was kind of going over as I was preparing for talking about this is, which I think is a good point to kind of move into our ending, is energetic people have the spark of life inside them. And I don't know if you've gotten to different places in your life where you feel alive, you feel really passionate towards something. And so I think it's important for us to talk about this topic right now, especially because so many people are in their homes and life has changed for them. They're not working normally like they normally would. Some people are feeling a real high with that and they're adapting really well and making changes and they're feeling good about it. And some people are really in a slump about it. And so it's very important that if you're feeling that low energy, obviously make sure that your systems are functioning well, because you don't want poor health on top of it. But if you're feeling low energy, examine what are your passions in life? Where is the spark? What's waking you up in the morning? And maybe now's a good time to learn something new so that you can kind of redevelop that passion and purpose.
Well, and I was going to share too with all the listeners, the energy blog on mine that I did just finished, it's on healthwithkim.com. So they can find that, all my blogs on there. There'll be another blog next month. So I'm kind of trying to do a blog a month. It's a lot for me because I'm not a huge writer. Okay? So it's like, trust me, right? It's a lot.
Right.
But it's awesome.
Yeah.
We have great listeners that follow us, and it's awesome that we're able to do this.
Well, I love it. I love that we get together and do this, and no distance is going to separate us. So thank you again for joining with me on it. Go to healthwithkim.com. You can go to my website, drfoodie.live, and stay up on everything that we've got going on. And we will see all of you again.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Have a great day. Bye.